beautiful singing, beautiful. Kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi and I'm your vocal coach for today. In today's vocal analysis, we're going to be taking a look at Ariana Grande with The Wizard and I know I've lived under a rock. This has been out for many moons and I still haven't watched it, but I'm excited to see what she does with this song, because she wasn't in Wicked at this point, but it wasn't much before she would have auditioned. So let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
Once I prove my worth, and when I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth, and with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks, he won't be blinded.
So Ariana Grande, obviously, you know, musical theater performer. She's been on Broadway. She was in 13. So this is a really great light musical theater sound, because obviously she's done a lot of pop singing between When I Meet the Wizard, Once I Prove My Worth. So we've got this light chest voice sound there. We're sort of seeing the typical sort of pop head movements. I don't think that Ariana necessarily needs to do that, but it could be a sign of jaw and even tongue root tension when we're seeing those little movements.
When I meet the wizard, once I prove my worth, and when I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth, and with
She's got such a lovely balanced voice, right? What I've waited for since. Well, we don't have to lift the head up there, but sometimes it can assist by holding onto those thicker vocal folds. This isn't a super heavy sound, and we actually don't want that at the beginning of the sound. We've got quite what I've waited for since birth. She's holding on to the same vocal quality. There are lots of thyroid tilt in order to take those closed vocal folds further up in the range.
what I've waited for since birth, and with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb, or like munchkin so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you truly are.
And then we go, you say to me, I see who you truly are. And there she's beefing up the vocal folds there. They're getting a little bit thicker in order to make that louder sound. Let's just go back on that. We're seeing quite a relaxed mouth position here. That's really what we want. Lovely little bit of space between the teeth. We really only need a finger width though. We don't want like to rip the mouth open. And we're in a comfortable part of her range. So there's not really a hell of a lot going on in terms of the body needing to stabilize the sound.
By my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb, or like munchkin so small-minded? No.
So did you see that? Do you think the wizard is dumb? And she's lifting her chin up a little bit. Look, I'm exaggerating, and I just also really need you to know I'm not poo-pooing Ariana Grande in any way, shape, or form. She's an amazing singer. She can do whatever the fuck she wants with her own voice. It sounds gorgeous. I'm just saying, if someone was in my studio and they were doing this, I would double check what was going on with their tongue root tension, because what can often happen, do you think the wizard is dumb? We often raise the chin in order to release the pressure that's going on here underneath the tongue. Now, if a singer chooses to do that out of their own free will, and it's not causing the sound to be strained or anything like that, they can do whatever they want. We just want to look into why that was going on, because that can then creep into other areas. She obviously sings pop, so a lot of the time it would be absolutely fine. But in some situations, for some characters, that might be a little bit odd to reach the chin up.
Or like munchkin so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you truly are. A girl on whom I can rely. And that's how we'll begin. The wizard and
So we've got the wizard and I. She's taken that larynx down. Also got a little bit of warmth coming into the sound with the opening of the vocal folds. Vocal folds actually sit like this, sorry. And they're just opening a little bit there to allow that breath to come through. Often we need to allow a little bit of breath to come through in order to go lower in the range.
once I'm with the wizard, my whole life will change. 'Cause once you're with the wizard,
beautiful singing, beautiful. So singing in itself, this is what we would call a naturally balanced voice. We don't actually know what causes a good singer or someone to be a good singer or become a good singer and someone else to not be as good. But we do believe it has a lot to do with symmetry, because symmetry within the larynx means that everything just kind of runs really nicely. And there is also a belief that it has to do with the type of going to get the words in the right order here, the type of joint that we have within the larynx itself, because we have the thyroid cartilage and the cricoid cartilage. So, you're never going to know what type of joint you actually have in your larynx, because that has to be done with a contrast dye MRI, which is relatively dangerous when you're being put, pumped full of contrast stuff. So we don't do that. But you can see here, we're going seamlessly up the range. There seems to be no passaggio, but everybody has a passaggio. Let's just go back on that because she's gone right over it and through the top.
I'm with a wizard. My whole life will change.
And can you say, my whole life will change? Lovely mouth position there. We're wanting to be watching how wide we take the mouth, because that's going to, my whole life will change. It will automatically brighten the sound. So that's, I love that she's using that in order to also slightly darken the sound as well.
Door with the wizard. And no one thinks you're strange. No father is not proud of you. No sister acts ashamed. All of us has to love you. And by the wizard you're aflame.
I guarantee that she's been singing this song for as long as it has been out, because, all of us musical theater people have. So she's doing those lovely darkened vowels. And all of us has to love you, because by the wizard you're acclaimed. So we're trying to keep that vowel going on there. I don't like to say in any type of musical theater or pop really that it's about placing, this is a very classical thing, about placing the consonants on top of the sort of the stream of sound. But you've got quite in the song, you've got quite long phrases. All of us has to love you. And if you're going to go, all of us has to love you, if you try and interrupt the flow of the sound, it sounds terrible. Ariana, obviously, like the ultimate professional in this, but same mouth shape.
Acts ashamed. All of us has to love you. And by the wizard you're aflame. And this gift or this curse I have inside. Maybe let's don't know why. When we are hands in hand, the wizard and I.
When we are hand in hand, that's that thinner vocal fold going further up in the range. And we've got lots of thyroid tilt throughout this entire song. Thyroid, as I said, was this bit here inside where the vocal folds live inside the larynx. When we tilt it forward, we allow a stretch on the vocal folds in order to be able to go further up. So this is paramount in the vocal, learning thing, in learning to sing. What am I saying here, Zoe? Sometimes I lose track of my words. This, thyroid tilt. Thyroid tilt's the main difference between speaking and singing. You just have to do it. You have to do it, otherwise it just doesn't sound like singing, basically. And it's what I notice a lot of people really lacking when they're struggling with their singing, that all of us has to love you. You've got to really cry and complain. Let me know if you've tried that and how you get on down in the comments. Otherwise, if you're just like, what are you going on about, Zoe? I'd love to learn how to sound more sung when I am singing. I know it seems funny, but actually I get a lot of students coming into the Vocal Academy and they're like, I just want to sound more sung. I feel like I sound too spoken when I'm singing. So you can check out how to join the Vocal Academy in the description below, because that's really something we need to look at on a case-by-case basis for one-to-one singing lessons.
Girl who is so superior. Shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? And since folks here to an absurd degree seem fixated on your verdigris, would it be alright by you?
is she not just the most amazing singer? So we've got this, one day you'll say to me, Alphaba. So she's gone into that slightly more breathier falsetto sound. This is a different character. So she's having a conversation, Alphaba, with the wizard. And one day he'll say to me, Alphaba, the girl who is so superior. So we're staying in that thyroid tilt, quite thin vocal folds, because it's allowing to go in and out of the thin and the stiff there.
Girl who is so superior. Shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a melting exterior?
And did you see that? She goes, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside? Then she's adding into that weight into the sound. That's just thickening up of the vocal folds. Really what we're talking about when thinking of musical theatre is staying in a relatively samey kind of vocal fold quality. And we're just allowing the vocal folds to go thick and thin. Lots of thyroid tilt.
To an absurd degree, seem fixated on your pedigree. Would it be alright by you if I degreenify you? And of course that's not important to me. Alright, why not? I'll reply. What a pair will be, wizard and I. Yes, what a pair will be, wizard and
Wow, gosh, such flexibility. And like this singing it's a muscular sport. It's a muscular coordination, and a really fucking hard one at that. But you have to build it up slowly, because a lot of the time people go to sing songs like this and it's like, what am I actually doing? Where am I pushing? What am I doing? So, it's just so many things going on here. We could be here for days, but I'll try and make it in the course of a video that's less than half an hour long. If you want to catch more videos that are less than half an hour long, where I take a look at vocals, I take a look at the vocals of fantastic singers and just like break them down into what they're actually doing technically, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you around here more often. We can just like chat shit about singing. Favorite topic. Should see us when singing teachers get together. This is all we talk about. Did you see that performance?
alright, why not? I'll reply.
Did you see that? All right, why not? I mean, that's basically her speaking, right? Speaking of it. All right, why not? I'll reply. So we've got that higher larynx, thicker vocal fold. You're going to be talking about as if you're calling out to someone. It's the hardest thing is to get the larynx high. And that's what she's done there.
Wizard and I. Yes, what a pair will be, wizard and unlimited. My future is unlimited, and I just had a vision, almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy and true. The vision's hazy.
She's such a wonderful actress as well. So we've got this, let's just go back on that, because we've got a little bit more of a falsetto sound here. But again, it's really, there's not a hell of a lot of falsetto in here, because we're really looking to, when we are adding breath, we're adding breath on top of the thin or the thick vocal folds. We're not actually going full on into a falsetto quality in that time.
Unlimited. My future is unlimited, and I just had a vision, almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds.
So you could look again, not poo-pooing Ariana, but we say, I know, and she moved her jaw there. You don't have to move the jaw in order to create riffs and runs. We would only look at a singer and go like, don't move your jaw, if that was creating a strained sound or causing them an issue within their own vocalization. But like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's a completely different way in which you work with a professional like Ariana as to working with a beginner singer. So that would be their decision. Usually that type of jaw movement would be signaling to me as a vocal coach or as a singing teacher really, that there would be a little bit of tongue tension going on. Now that also doesn't matter unless it's causing vocal issues. So we would want the siren to be without movement. We'd want the exercises to be without movement. And then you can kind of like throw spaghetti at the wall a little bit in the songs themselves.
And true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout us. That's all to do with me. And I'm standing with the wizard, feeling things I never felt, and I never should. I'd be so happy I could not, and so it will be for the rest of my life, and I want nothing else till I die. Held in such high esteem when people.
Oh, I just get so happy. You can just see that she just loves the song. And I like, honestly, everybody who is into musical theater, no matter what age they are, loves Wicked. When Wicked came out, like 20 years ago, it was like the coolest thing since sliced bread. Like, it was just the music. It changed the way that we saw belting. It changed the way that we saw females in musical theater. It was one of the first musicals that came out with 2 female leads. Like the dude in the show, actually there's 3 female leads because the dude in the show has like the tiniest part, and that was revolutionary, okay? I'm so happy that it's become this juggernaut that it's become with the movies, and they are just like beautiful. I love the way that she's singing this because Ariana Grande has a beautifully light, balanced voice, and I like that she's not trying to take it down into a darker sort of like more... I don't want to say, actually, no, I'm not going to say adult, but in a darker sound that sounds like bigger, because this is you can just see it in the ease that she's singing with as a comfortable part of her range. So she probably took the microphone because the tricky thing is about, especially when you're starting to sing really loud, it can really hinder you. I even find it really annoying here to have this microphone like this. I'd much rather be holding it in my hand, to be honest. But I'm not going to change my setup around for filming. So we've got this is just like my online teaching setup, okay? Like literally my piano's in front of me, or it's like over here for teaching live. So we've got so will be for the rest of my life. We've got a thicker vocal fold sound there. She's not really getting into the belting yet, and that's absolutely fine. She's got a slightly more dropped back of the tongue, more of an O shape in the mouth in order to darken the timbre of the sound.
When people see me, they will scream or have a mother's the wizard. Hello.
Wow, is she not just the most amazing singer there? And the only moment that she started to belt was favorite time. And she did all these like riffs and runs. They were fabulous. I can't do those, but we've got time. And you saw that lovely, short, sharp, high breath. We're wanting to do that when we are belting because it helps us to build up pressure underneath the vocal folds themselves. And that's really what we need in order to get that lovely glottal, the glottal closure, the glottis closure. So many sciencey words. Let's go back on that. We do see the raising up of the chin. Again, if Ariana's not worried about it, it's not causing any issues for herself, then there's nothing to write home about. It can also help us to stay in thicker vocal folds. So we are seeing a little bit of movement there in the jaw, but she's not clenching. And that's one of the things that we'd be really looking out for, would be like clenching or the closing of the mouth and that additional pressure. And she's not doing that. I like that. There's probably a reason that she wasn't able to transfer. and add in that vibrato there. Oh my God, I have to admit, my vibrato at the moment is like so wide. I had my tongue tie released under my tongue, and I need to relearn a lot to do about my singing, but I'm not even going to bother to sing that online because it's, my vibrato is like massive. Anyway, usually at the end you would then go and then go into a vibrato at the end. She probably didn't release because honestly, when your head is that far up, it's very hard to tilt the larynx in order to get that amount of vibrato on. But honestly, like, who cares? She's on NBC and, well, we're not. So, wow, Ariana Grande. She's amazing. Love her. I miss seeing Ariana Grande singing more musical stuff. I really hope that she does a stint on Broadway, but I'm not really sure that anyone on Broadway can afford her. Like, I'm not really sure that the audiences would definitely pay, but I'm not sure that the shows themselves would have the money. Let me know what you'd like to see, apart from maybe Wicked, what you'd like to see Ariana Grande in on Broadway. Let me know down in the comments. I think there's a couple of shows in there that I like to see her in. But if you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It honestly helps me massively to grow this channel, because the more of you that support me over here means the more that I can, carve out of my working week to be here with you. I am a full-time vocal coach, singing teacher, and owner of my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, where I run weekly masterclasses as well as weekly practice groups and group sessions, all the good things. Check it out in the description below. Check out some more Ariana up here. Just remember, singing is difficult to learn. It is a very, very complex muscular activity. But I genuinely believe that anyone can learn to sing. You just have to have the tools. And, well, that's what I'm here for. So happy singing. Ka kite aroha.